Salam kids, welcome to your channel, Islam Station. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the migration of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Migration means moving from one place to another. Just like when birds fly to warmer places in the winter, people sometimes move to different cities or countries. In Islam, we remember the time when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his friends had to leave their home in Makkah and move to a new place called Medina. This was called the Hijrah. They did this because they wanted to be safe and follow Allah's teachings. So, migration is when people move to a new place for a better or safer life. A long time ago, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived in a city called Makkah. He was chosen by Allah to teach people about Islam and guide them to worship only one God, Allah. But many people in Makkah did not like these teachings because they were used to worshipping many idols. Some of them were very powerful and rich. They were afraid that if people followed the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they would lose their power and wealth. So they started being very mean to Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him and his followers, the Muslims. They made life very hard for the Muslims. They teased them, hurt them, and even tried to stop them from praying. It became so dangerous that some Muslims couldn't live in Makkah anymore. Many of them had already moved to a place called Abyssinia to stay safe. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, and many of his companions stayed behind, hoping things would get better. One day, the people of a city called Yathrib invited Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to come to their city. The people of Medina had heard about Islam and were ready to welcome him and his followers. They promised to protect him and the Muslims and help them practice their faith in peace. Allah then gave Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the command to leave Makkah and migrate to Medina. This journey is called the Hijrah. But the people of Makkah were angry and didn't want the Prophet to leave. They even planned to harm him. So, the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his best friend, Abu Bakr, had to leave quietly in the middle of the night so no one would notice. On their way to Medina, they faced many challenges. One of the scariest moments was when they had to hide in a cave called Thar Cave because the people of Makkah were chasing them. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Abu Bakr hid in the cave for 3 days. While they were inside, the enemies came very close, but they didn't see them, because Allah protected them. A spider had spun a web over the entrance of the cave. After that, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Abu Bakr continued their journey through the desert. It was a long trip, about 400 kilometers. But they never gave up because they trusted Allah to guide them. Along the way, they were helped by kind people, and after many days they finally reached Medina. When they arrived in Medina, the people were so happy to see them. They welcomed the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Muslims with open arms. From that day, Medina became a safe place for Islam to grow and flourish. The Muslims could finally live in peace, and Islam spread to many new places. The Hijrah was a very important event in Islamic history because it marked the beginning of the Islamic calendar. It also showed the bravery of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers, their trust in Allah, and how Allah always protects those who put their faith in him. When they heard about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, many of them accepted Islam and invited him to come live in their city. It was the beginning of something much bigger. The Muslims would now have a place where they could live freely, practice their religion, and build a strong community. The Hijrah was not just a journey, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for Muslims. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, built a strong and peaceful community. And Islam started to spread more and more. So kids, that's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more. Allah Hafiz.